The ruling of the International Court of Justice has now been officially read. For an hour, the court announced the conclusions of the judgment, in which established that Colombia had violated the sovereign rights of Nicaragua. However, it recognized the rights of the Raizal population to fish and navigate in the exclusive economic zones of Nicaragua. This is what the court said.
The court in the reading of the ruling stated that Colombia's conduct was not in line with the international law, and this violated Nicaragua's rights in its exclusive economic and maritime zone when it was carrying out exercises to control and conserve natural resources in the sea.
The court finds that Colombia has violated its international obligation to respect Nicaragua's sovereign rights and jurisdiction in the latter's exclusive economic zone by interfering with fishing activities.
The court also concluded that Colombia must respect Nicaragua's sovereignty and, in accordance with international law, must remedy the violation as it occurred.
The court finds that Colombia must immediately cease its wrongful conduct.
This is due to the fact that the ancestral rights over the disputed territory has not been proved.
The court is mindful that traditional fishing practices alleged to have taken place over many decades may not have been documented in any formal or official record. The court is of the view that the affidavits submitted by Colombia do not sufficiently establish its claim that the inhabitants of the San Andres archipelago, in particular the Raizales, have been engaged in a long-standing practice of artisanal fishing in traditional fishing banks.
During the reading of the ruling, the court recognized the rights of the Raizal people to navigate and fish in Nicaragua's exclusive economic zone. It is also pointed out that the Nicaraguan state has the will not to negotiate the zones with Colombia.
May freely navigate within Nicaragua's exclusive economic zone, including in the course of their travel between the inhabited islands and the fishing areas located on Colombia's side of the maritime boundary.
In this way, the court asked the republics in dispute to negotiate bilaterally between the two parties.
At 3 o'clock in the morning Colombian time, the verdict of the litigation between our country and Nicaragua was issued. This against the claims filed by the Central American country for alleged violations of sovereign rights in the Caribbean Sea committed by Colombia.
The International Court of Justice in The Hague issued its ruling today in relation to the lawsuit filed by the country of Nicaragua in 2013, where it denounced alleged violations of sovereign rights and maritime spaces in the Caribbean Sea by Colombia. The court indicated that our country violated Nicaragua's rights and several international articles. It also requested a bilateral negotiation between the two countries. Regarding the situation, the president made a statement.
Today's rulings defends aspects of great importance that validate our defense. In the first place, the National Navy will be able to continue to be present and exercise its right to free navigation and overflight in the air. The court recognized Colombia's right to navigate freely in the area to fight transnational crime and drug trafficking. From the beginning, this was the position of Colombia's defense, and it was what the court ratified today. Secondly, the unity, integrity, and indivisibility of the archipelago of San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina and the Keys are maintained. Thirdly, the Raizal fishermen can navigate in the Caribbean until they reach the fishing banks that they have and have had historically, and that are also in the Colombian territorial sea and in the exclusive economic zone of our country. The national government ratifies the constitutional mandate to defend the sovereignty and integrity of the island and the rights of our nation.
The president indicated that the national government since 2012 has tried to seek through dialogue to solve the problems with the country of Nicaragua, but the Central American country closed dialogue in 2014. Likewise, the president referred to the Nicaraguan government as a dictatorship that through its actions draws the attention of other democratic countries.
One of Colombia's arguments against the lawsuit filed by Managua for the alleged violation of sovereign rights and international law in the Caribbean maritime space around the archipelago is the ancestral right of the Raizal people over this space. This is how the court ruled on this argument today.
The court noted that Colombia presented 11 pieces of evidence to demonstrate the artisanal fishing of the Raizal people in Nicaragua's exclusive economic zone. However, these do not demonstrate the time periods or that this population was located in areas that are non-Nicaraguan. In addition, the court stated that the President of Nicaragua has recognized that the rights of the Raizal people to continue fishing in these areas must be defended, but does not see that Nicaragua has recognized the right of the Colombian Raizal population to fish without authorization.
The court found admissible the counterclaim relating to the alleged infringement by Nicaragua of the customary artisanal fishing rights of the local inhabitants of the San Andres archipelago, and the counterclaim relating to the alleged violation of Colombia's sovereign rights and jurisdiction as a result of the adoption by Nicaragua of a decree purporting to establish straight baselines.
In other words, the court concluded that Colombia failed to prove that the Raizal population had fishing rights in Nicaragua's exclusive economic zone. The court dismissed the contract claim. In addition, it requested a bilateral negotiation between the two parties. It was also established that the Raizal population can navigate freely in Nicaragua's exclusive economic zone.
And the International Court of Justice, in the reading of the ruling, also stated that the jurors considered that there was insufficient evidence to show that Colombia had violated the rights of the country of Nicaragua.
The court announced that it dismissed one of Nicaragua's points due to the lack of evidence. This revolved around the fact that the International Court considered that Nicaragua could not prove whether or not there was a violation of the rights of the Nicaraguan country with the presence of the Colombian National Army in the sea.
The court will also give particular attention to reliable evidence acknowledging facts or conduct unfavorable to the state represented by the person making them. Finally, while press articles and documentary evidence of a similar secondary nature are not capable of proving facts, they can corroborate in some circumstances the existence of facts established by other evidence.
In this way, it was established that the Central America country was unable to demonstrate the violation by our country on its international obligation.
En el Fondo Nacional del Ahorro nos mueve lo que sueñas. Por eso, desde agosto del 2018 hemos construido un país de propietarios. Es con hechos.
And in other news, the agent of Colombia in The Hague explains the decisions taken by the International Court of Justice in The Hague, where he refers to the decisions taken on the claim of the violation of sovereign rights in the maritime spaces of Nicaragua in the Caribbean Sea.
Among the declaration given by the Colombian agent at The Hague, he referenced that the ruling have been favorable for the country as the court recognized the Raizal community and their fishing rights are maintained, among other things.
La Corte no dijo que Colombia...
The court did not say that Colombia had failed to comply with the 2012 Hague ruling, and this is crucial. Secondly, the court recognized the principle of freedom and the right that Colombia has through the National Navy to present in the waters around San Andres and Providence and in the Western Caribbean, as well as the right to carry out operations related to the fight against drug trafficking and organized crime. Thirdly, the court recognized that all Colombian islands and keys in the Caribbean are entitled to a continuous zone of 12 nautical miles beyond the territorial sea to the extent that it allows us to reintegrate the archipelago. The court recognized that the Raizal ethnic community has fishing and transit rights in the waters of the archipelago that must be recognized and protected by the states.
The declaration given reaffirmed that the court did not accept the peculiar intention of Nicaragua to maintain its jurisdiction, nor did it accept to decree compensation in favor of Nicaragua.
After the court assured that Colombia has violated the sovereign rights of Nicaragua in the maritime zone, the question remains for many if the ruling is finally in favor or against our country. For more clarity in this respect, these are the Hague's ruling key points.
8 key points were discussed in the court to reach a final conclusion. The voting took place as follows. By 10 votes to 5, adjudicator under the dispute regarding the violation related to the Republic of Colombia covered claims based on these events rendered by the Republic of Nicaragua occurring after November 2013. By 10 votes to 5, the International Court of Justice in The Hague finds that the Republic of Colombia has violated the Republic of Nicaragua's sovereign rights of jurisdiction over these maritime zones, says by the International Court of Justice in The Hague in its ruling. By 9 votes to 6, by authorizing the fishing activities, the Republic of Colombia has violated the sovereignty rights in this maritime zone. By 9 votes to 6, it is found that the Republic of Colombia must cease the conduct stated in the aforementioned paragraph. By 13 votes to 2, it is found that the integral contiguous zone established by the Republic of Colombia is not in conformity with international law. By 12 to 3 votes, it is found that the Republic of Colombia must by its own election bring to conformity with international law the provisions of the Presidential Decree of September 2013 as amended by Decree 1119 of June 17 of 2014 regarding maritime boundaries. By 12 votes to 3, it is found that the straight lines of Nicaragua are not in conformity with international law. Finally, by 14 votes to 1, all other requests made by the parties were rejected.
In Teleislas News, we will analyze the background information of this new ruling issued by the International Court of Justice in The Hague, which differs from the one delivered by the court in 2012.
After the December 19 of 2012 ruling of the International Court of Justice, where Nicaragua was granted 40% of the Caribbean Sea belonging to Colombia, the then government of President Santos took the decision to withdraw from the Bogotá Pact, which recognizes the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice.
We denounced the Pact of Bogotá. That is, we withdrew from this treaty that recognizes the jurisdiction of the court in The Hague.
The withdrawal from the Bogotá Pact means that the International Court could not hear new claims against Colombia as of November 26 of 2013. But it was precisely before that date that Nicaragua sued Colombia again twice, one on September 16 of 2013 and another on September 26 of the same year. This for alleged violations of sovereign rights and maritime spaces in the Caribbean Sea by Colombia to Nicaragua. To this situation, the national government countersued. On September 20 of 2021, the hearings began between Colombia and Nicaragua before The Hague to know the arguments that both nations had against the dispute. This situation ended in today's result on April 21st, where the court argued that Colombia had violated the sovereign rights of Nicaragua and requested a bilateral negotiation between the two countries to solve their problems.
In Teleislas News, the community counts, and these are their reactions to the decision taken by the International Court of Justice in The Hague.
Fishermen on several occasions have referred that they have been the most affected since the 2012 ruling where Colombia lost much of the territorial sea. They have said that they do not feel safe when leaving to go fishing. When consulted today after the new decision of the ruling of the International Court of Justice in The Hague, they say it would be good and important to have bilateral agreements between the two nations.
We are brothers and sisters with Nicaragua because we must remember olden days Nicaragua used to bring all his product here and sell. We buy and we was one family. But just through this thing come out now, we turn enemy. But up to now, we don't have nothing against Nicaragua.
Well, I think we should make a good treatment with Nicaragua about our fishermen from San Andres and the one them from Nicaragua, that we can go down there and fishing, and then can come both up there and fishing. And we don't have any problem because I think both of us talk the same language and we should be united till to the day. And we're not supposed to have no problem because we always neighbor and we're not supposed to have any big problem.
Well, they are right because San Andres people and Nicaraguan people, we all the time unite. But when it comes to government, them got them problem all the time. But really what happened with the water, it can be one combustible for you because you're going to go fishing with pressure on your back. Too much pressure because you know anything can happen if you're in the midst, anything can go on. That's the way we never want. You don't want to go and you're not afraid because really and truly place for and then they give away the water. We have a live with what the Colombian government say. But if instead we share the water, we have to look and see how we want to share because there's too much pressure. We never know what can happen between the two countries and the fishermen who they feel all the strain.
We never having problem with Nicaragua. From I was a little boy coming up, my family used to go down to Nicaragua. They have picnic and things. They come out here. They have baseball, and we share with them. But lately, I don't know what is the problem with them and Colombia, and we suffering the consequence because that they're not suffering, we suffering. Our fishermen. We used to go down there and we carry things down there. We have excursion, they come out here and they have flat pool, and we used to have it very nice. But lately, I don't know what is the problem. That is between the big fishes then. But we, as an islanders, we have no problem with Nicaragua. Nicaragua tell we can go down there and fishing, and we can go down there, we have no problem. But he say don't want, I think the big fishes, them trespass down there because them make the problem, and they got to stand to the problem. We don't business with the problem that where we islanders speak.
There is no fish in here. The fish is in Nicaragua's zone. Since Nicaragua took over the sea, we are doomed. There we had to fish with the engine running. So when we see the Coast Guard, we had to push the engine up to the limit.
For the fishermen, this conflict has completely affected their economy development. That is why they are waiting for agreements that will make, that is why they are waiting for agreements that will make them better off.